Welcome to episode 91 of the Drag Driver Pete Show presented by Summit Racing. Tonight, we're kicking off our pre PRI show 2024 content. We're going to have Eric Grillo from Molly Motorsports is going to be on, and Luke B from Howard's Cams is going to be on to round out the show. Each of these guests have a booth at PRI this year. So we're going to talk about like some tips. We're going to talk about newbie stuff. We're going to find out what they're excited about for PRI. And then we're probably going to see maybe who their celebrity crush is and who they hope to meet while we're there. So, Mr. Eric, will you hit that intro video and we get this thing going?
Yeah, let's do it.
We're gonna pack things up and hit the road and try to make it the next day.
All right, guys. Like I said, welcome to episode 91 of the Drag Driver Pete Show presented by Summit Racing. My name is Mike Narks. I am the host of this episode. And my right hand man, Mr. Eric White, please introduce yourself. Tell them what you got going on, dude.
I am Eric White. I am the co-host of both the show and the news. Right-hand man pretty much means anything drag driver Pete related. I've got a hand in the circuit, uh, artwork, photos. We just did
Yeah.
5,000 photos for Drag Week. So pretty
You
much,
did 10,000 photos for Drag
yeah,
Week.
yeah.
Don't get it
So
twisted. You did that and all the editing, posting, and everything. You're an animal.
yeah. So pretty much anything that needs to be done, I am here to help with.
Yep.
So let's jump into it, and we always got to start the show by thanking you guys, our race car friends. Already a bunch of people in here making comments. Again, you guys keep us going week in and week out doing this. And of course, we can't do this without our sponsors, Summit Racing. See the new hat here, Summit
Mm-hmm.
Racing. Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Car Chains 3D, WAF Racing, Performabuilt Transmissions, J-Wire Solutions, Howard's Cam, Sweet Patina, PowerTube TV, and Racing Junk.
Man, I'm telling you, that's a huge list. And I have a feeling that it's going to grow. Got a couple meetings at PRI. I'm excited to spread the word about the Dragon Drive lifestyle that's out there. Well, guys, you know the deal. Summit Racing started as a one-man operation and is now the world's largest and baddest. Just, I mean, awesome car part, retailer. They have 4 facilities. They have 200 plus catalog editions they've sent out. They feel your passion, they save you money, they deliver fast and offer top-notch customer service for more than 1,500 brands. Make sure to download the Summit Racing mobile app for easy access to speed parts. You can find them on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. You can also find the On All Cylinders podcast, which is one of my favorite podcasts. And if you kind of like obviously things like this right here that you're watching, but they dive into everything automotive. So it's kind of cool. And then from humble origins to the social media lane, Summit Racing stands by your need for speed. You can find everything on summitracing.com.
So Driven Racing Oil is the performance engine oil that can do it all. GP1 is the ultimate oil for any race or performance application, whether launching hard at the drag strip, enduring the extreme heat of off-road and circle track, or pushing limits in top fuel drag boats and demo derbies. Winning racers choose GP1. Compatible with engines from classic hot rods to cutting-edge race machines, GP1's unique surface cling and high zinc formulation ensures superior wear protection, particularly for flat tappet camshafts, while solving issues like cylinder washout with methanol and ethanol fuels. Crafted from the legendary Bradford, Pennsylvania base oil, then enhanced with state-of-the-art additive packages, GP1 offers the best in protection and performance. And you guys know drivenracingoil.com. You can head there and pick up your oil or your merchandise. And then you can follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Driven Racing Oil.
That's right. And let's talk about some events. Last event of the year, sadly postponed. It looks like they're going to have some weather this weekend, so it's going to kind of push this event out, this cruise and chill out again. This is like the third time this happened. So sad, man. Sean Rose just wants to host a dang Dragon Drive event in Texas. Y'all, let's do this. So he's saying maybe sometime in the spring. I'll send him a message. We'll talk about some dates and things like that that can work for those guys. I know that they just want to host an event, man. He's got great tracks, XMRP, Extreme Raceway Park. He's got Texas Motorplex, and they were going to head down to Houston. I don't know if next year creates a problem for a Houston track or not, but this, good luck, man. I hope this works. I want it to work for him. He's been trying, so that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yep. And then the next event, I don't know if you guys have heard us talk about this one or not. PRI next week, booth 4904. Also, Dragon Drive Awards presented by Summit Racing Thursday morning, 11 a.m., room 241. In case you guys didn't know, we were doing that award show.
Yeah, if you hadn't heard yet, we're doing that. And the gentleman's agreement, here's the deal. We work our butts off doing this. I know I do. I know Eric does. Part of the gentleman's agreement is we're going to keep doing this, but we need you guys to hit that follow or subscribe button. Wherever you're watching this, just do that. Hit that right now. If you're not already doing that, come on, let's get to it. We want to be as close to 10,000 by the end of the year on YouTube as possible. So if you're not following us there, jump over there, Drag Driver Pete on YouTube, and hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, we're going to have tons of content from PRI. So
we're going to overload people. So I hope they're ready. And we're going to post a lot of it to YouTube. We're going to post a lot of special exclusive stuff to PowerTube as well, but it will take a few weeks for that stuff to come out. So if you want real time, YouTube, baby. That's what you want. That's where we're going to post it. PowerTube TV is a huge partner of ours. We love those guys. Ray and the team at PowerTube are awesome. They allow us to post exclusive content over there through their content creator development program, which we've been a part of all year. I think we've posted 50 episodes over there that play also on the app that they have, which you can watch on your TV, which is usually my go-to if I'm home during the day. We post, have that on playing in the background. They do a ton of podcast stuff. They do a lot of old shows or vintage shows or fun stuff like Pastimes and Pinks, which are getting new runs for 2025. And then they also have a ton of exclusive stuff from content creators like us. So it's pretty awesome. They're going to be at PRI booth 7086. It's going to be a huge thing. 10 by 50, dude. 10 by 50. They're debuting a new car they're going to be giving away, and we're talking to a ton of content creators on Saturday morning that are going to be we're going to be live on Saturday with PowerTube talking about all the stuff at PRI. So we're going to be introduced to a lot of other content creators and everything like that. So all right, Molly Motorsports, man.
Okay, give me just 1 second, okay? I just need 1 second.
Perfect. Perfect. Now we're talking. Now you look like a race car driver, dude.
Sorry, wardrobe change. I think that's how they do it in like the big shows, right?
Yeah. It's like that's it. That's what we're doing from now on. That's awesome.
All right. Attention, high performance enthusiasts and racers, meet the Molly Motorsports Power Pack Kit, your ultimate solution for power packed performance. The Power Pack pistons are either made from 4032 aluminum alloy to allow for tighter cylinder-to-wall clearances and improved temperature stability, or the 2618 alloy to allow for increased detonation resistance. What sets Molly apart? It's their forged pistons, Grafol coating, and phosphate treatment for peak performance and durability. Elevate your ride with Molly Motorsports, where performance meets precision. Visit mollymotorsports.com for more details. And as always, for our podcast listeners, Molly is spelled Mahle.
All right. And just a reminder, Eric Grillo, who's coming on now, drives that super awesome Nova that we love in the bottom there and does a ton of Dragon drives. And then George Wright drives his Duster and was at Drag Week. So these dudes aren't just sponsors. They're also Dragon Drive racers. That's kind of how this came about. So, Mr. Eric Grillo, let's bring you on, sir. I want to remove this and say good evening and see how you're doing, man. Are you getting ready for PRI?
Yes, sir. Yeah, doing great, wide open. As you have been expounding on, it is upon us. There's about a month left of work to do in this next week, but we're getting there.
Well, and I think that's one of the hardest parts too, is like we're not gone for a week. We're working while we're there, but like it's so hard to get to do anything. Like I'm not going to sit down and be able to send emails until like 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, you go there and it's like, I'll take care of that in the evening. I'll get all these things done, and yeah, it never happens. Absolutely never.
Yeah,
Right.
not at all. Well, I want to give you a big shout out. Want to say thanks. Eric is going to be running Molly Pistons in the Drag and Drive Mustang. Love that. I can't wait to lean some boost into that thing and pour some boost into that thing and see what we can do. You know, our first goal is 10 O's, which it should blow right past that. We'll have to slow it down, but it's going to be awesome with some Molly Pistons.
Yeah, no, it's been a good year, busy year for us. We're getting more and more reach into guys that are putting parts into builds, and you know that's the name of the game while we're here. So the more that we can see that come to fruition, it makes it all. It helps justify us getting to do what we do, which you mentioned, go out and race and be there and support the racers, but do our thing as well. So it all ties in and comes back full circle.
Yep.
Right. Well, let's talk about events that you did in 2024. I want to talk about events that you personally raced at, and then I want to talk about maybe some events that Molly had a booth at.
Yeah, competing with the car, I just made it to basically both of the Race Week or Rocky Mountain events. Went out in the summer, Texas, Oklahoma, and
So hot. It was so hot.
as I think back on that event, I know I was there, but I really don't remember much of it at all when I try to think of what happened. But that was definitely a survive and get to the end type of event for just anybody that was out there. That was insane.
Yeah, the day we went to this leg lamp, it had, man, I can't imagine what it was like in a black car because it was hot in everything. You know, I drive a little Saturn because of the mileage, and the trans temp on the Saturn was like 225. That's bad.
Yeah, amazingly the car did phenomenal for the heat. Never missed a beat. But yeah, the driver in the car took quite a beating, and on that event too, I broke in a new co-driver and took my nephew with me on his first event.
Cool.
He was a trooper though. It was amazing that even through all of that and in the 120 plus degrees or whatever it was in the cab, still found a way to snooze for a better portion of the trip. So something about being young and
Yeah.
but what that does to you. But yeah, that was an adventure, no doubt.
And then we just happenstance, you passed us as you were, I guess, on vacation at the Havlicks deal. Man, this was so cool.
Yeah, that one we're just out there as a fan. Kind of grew up watching those cars and reading about them in the magazines, and had a chance to see a few of them race in person, but more just things that you had seen on paper. And so to get out there and experience that, I was afraid it was going to be a one-time deal and wanted, there's no way to miss it. Certainly glad to hear that there's, if not 100% official, they're definitely talking about putting that on again. So that was quite the deal.
Yeah, for 2025, if people aren't following, talking about the Havlicks fastest streetcar shootout reunion race or tribute race, I guess what they're calling it. And they've been working on Bob Rieger's 57, that black 57. They've been working hard on it. That car should be like race ready this year. And they're expanding it to 3 days, which I think is a huge win. And then they're doing like a drag and drive class too. So maybe we'll see some cars on the street and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that was another one that just worked out, that could make it out there just to see it and experience it. And yeah, definitely recommend checking it out.
Well, what were some of the other events that Molly was at? I know we saw them at Drag Week. There was a booth there, but what other events were you guys at?
Yeah, we did Drag Week. We had guys go out to support racers at Midwest, and then certainly our first foray into the circuit. We've known about that for a number of years, had participation, but we wanted to get somebody there on the grounds, and Adam jumped at that opportunity to run out, set up the booth, and check it out. So
I hope he had as much fun as I think he did. I think he really had a good time from what it looked like to me.
he had no complaints getting back, and I don't think we'll have to twist his arm to get him or somebody else back out there. So I think
awesome.
we're in good shape in that regard.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear that, and I can't wait, man. It's gonna be fun. We're going to do it in Tulsa to Mocan this time, a different part of Route 66. So whoever comes is going to have a blast.
Oh yeah, no, well, and we'll get a car out there too one of these days. That's my intent, is to sample them all, if you will.
Yeah.
Just because that's part of what I enjoy about it, is the variety. You guys were talking about tracks and things of that nature, getting out to see not only parts of the country that we're not getting, here in the East, getting back to the Midwest and things of that nature, but take race week in the fall, 3 tracks that I'd never even heard of, let alone getting the chance to go out and race at them. So that was probably one of my favorite parts of that event, was just the variety of the tracks in Louisiana and things of that nature that were completely new, but awesome places to go out and compete.
I don't know if I've told you this, but dude, I love your car.
It's a great shot.
Yeah.
There's a very long love-hate relationship with that car. I don't know if I've told you this story, but I got that car when I was 14 years old, and I would have to pull a calculator over here to figure out that math. It hasn't always been in that condition. It's been a long road to get it to where it is today. And there's a lot of things that I would do completely different if I were starting over, but it's one of those that, like I said, a love-hate relationship with it.
Yeah.
Probably never part with it, never let go with it. It'll always have some place in the garage.
That's
Man.
awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, let's talk about some stories from the year. What was your favorite race car that you happened to see this year?
A little bit biased.
There was a ton at Havlik, so I'm sure there was some there that probably got your attention.
I think that the 2 that came to mind were Nick Cryer and the milk truck at Drag Week. That package that he put together, which they came up with and said, hey, we want to do this, put some decals on the truck, and we figured out how to kind of fit it into the look and appearance of it, what it was, and just the way that they pulled off and executed that was completely beyond any expectations we had, and it certainly garnered a lot of attention just from that truck's awesome in what it does, but the aesthetics of what it did too were pretty neat.
Yep.
And the second one, I'm actually going to give George some credit for him to get his car together. He had done Drag Week for the first time last year, and that, on Drag Week last year, that was his first time ever down a drag strip. He's had the car for a while and been working on it, but to put it on the drag strip, got it out. And then between last year and this year, where he installed, repurposed the R5, so had NASCAR engine and an old Duster with a TKX behind it, and went out. He had some teething pains, but the car just completely started to fly for him.
Well, and I think he said that the car makes like 700 plus horsepower.
Oh yeah, I've got some work to do over the winter. Is what it boils down to. He really stepped up the game, so now we've got some good internal competition and pressure here to see where we can go. But for the way that car runs, and just with the type of engine that's in it and what he's put together, I'm thrilled to death to see that go out and make the event and bringing it home. And as usually happens, you get it home and you kind of take that week to catch your breath, but then it's okay, what am I doing next? And he's fully in that mode to get it ready to come back out next season.
How cool.
Yeah, we got some cool shots of that, of him down track and at the car in front of the booth from Drag Week.
Did it have the hood on it at that time?
I don't think so.
I don't think he ran with the hood at all anytime we saw it.
Oh, and I forget because we were out at Race Week at the time. I didn't get to follow. It's one of those. I'll be able to follow what he's doing, but you're in your own thing and.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I'm not sure what day it was that the hood decided to exit the chat on the top end, but that somebody caught a pretty good picture of it or snapped a screenshot of it on the live stream. I think it was. So
Oh, gotcha.
but, yeah, he had quite the time with that.
Yeah, I guarantee it. And I'm sure at that point it was nice for the airflow and lower temps too.
Well,
Side effect he probably didn't like, but
I don't want to steal all his stories, but given the fact that just a couple of days before the event, he had actually made a drive up somewhere in Virginia to pick it up just to go find this hood because he knew it was going to fit, it was going to bolt on, it was going to do everything clearance that he needed. So, a used but brand new hood, separate drive. Of course, as you're thrashing to get everything ready, takes the time to go to Virginia to get it, and then pretty much
turns it into a frisbee.
Yeah, so typical drag and drive type stuff, but there's a story behind everything I think out there in some regard or another.
Yeah, we need to have him on and hear some of the drag week stuff. That's one thing that really has become tough with this show. I don't think we can extend it to 3 hours, but we've got to get more conversations on here. But maybe Eric and I have been talking about doing this like end of the month. Everybody come on and tell stories, but I don't think that would help either.
No. Yeah, no, and that's the part, at a lot of the events that we do, just a little thing to give back to racers. We do our gas card giveaway, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's simple, that's easy. You could hand them out, everybody would be happy. But we really try to kind of search out just random people or the guys that are maybe not getting all the coverage that you see nationally. But the amazing part of it for me is that no matter who we've picked, it's like everybody has a story as you get the chance to sit down and talk to them, even ever so briefly, even if they're in the middle of whatever they're doing at that time. But it's like, without fail, every car that we've picked, every driver that we've picked, they've got a story to tell. And it's, I've yet to find one that doesn't, and maybe that day will come. But exactly to what you're saying,
I don't think it'll come in drag and drive. There's too much fun stuff that comes from this. Like everybody has a reason they're driving that car. We saw a lot of Plan C and D cars this year. Like, hey, couldn't get the first one done, couldn't get the second one done. Now I'm on my third one, and they're still having a blast in the third or fourth option to take.
Oh yeah, and some of the stuff that we pick, it's just off the wall because you don't expect it. It's probably been a couple of years, but some guy in a PT Cruiser that was doing just the road week version of it, and not even racing, but yet he had just as much story to tell and things, adventures that he had been on, and he talked about all the events that he had followed and traveled around to see. That's how we met, or I personally met Tom Begley.
Love that.
He was doing a road week with a rental car, and we saw the numbers on a rental car. It's like, that's got, guy gets a rental car, does road week with it. That's worth finding out. And come to find out, it was Tom.
Yeah,
and,
that's awesome.
Just it never ends.
Well, and big shout out to Tom Bagley, Baggulley. If anybody's looking, for him to even come over, it's like $2,000 minimum for him to fly over here to even think about coming to a drag and drive. So for him to do that and then buys a car sight unseen, drives it from like LA to Oklahoma. I mean, dude's an animal. Love that guy. We need to have him on too. Add that to the list.
Yeah, we will never have a lack of guests, that's for sure. There's always somebody to talk to.
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely.
Well, let's talk about PRI because we've got about another 10 or 12 minutes here. Booth 1601 for Mahle Motorsports, but it's not just Mahle Motorsports. You guys are worldwide, huge company. The motorsport division is really your baby. I mean, you've been there a long time, but what can people expect? Like, how do they find the motorsports guys in this, like, what is probably a 20 by 40 booth?
Well, it's not big enough that we'll get lost, and we share that with the other, we call it the other side of Mahle, that is Clevite bearings. They have Molly gaskets, Molly rings. They have their own version of rings. So there's within that entire Molly booth. Yes, there's going to be the forged piston part of it, but really, if you want to talk Clevite bearings or anything of that nature, that's who we're sharing it with.
That's awesome.
So anywhere that you can get in there, it becomes pretty apparent where pistons are and where bearings are, and folks that are tied and associated with them. But really, anything engine related, we're happy to kind of sit and talk and have chats about what you're working on and what we can do.
And I think that's one of the coolest booths. Like, you guys have a great display. You guys do. I mean, I'm as large as a company as it makes it. They probably have a whole setup for all this. They have people that do that stuff, but it's really like it's welcoming. Anytime we've been by there, everybody's been nice. Everybody's been helpful. I don't typically build that kind of stuff to need some aftermarket pistons yet. I intend to build a real car at some point in my near future, but the everybody in there is again welcoming and wanting to talk and tell their story and hear the customer story. I guess I hate to say customer because we're race car friends, but answer all that stuff. So that's pretty cool. So booth 1601 for everybody that's out there. That's a long way of saying, please go to the booth. Please tell somebody in there that you appreciate them being part of the Drag and Drive community is what I'm saying.
Well, and it's a good opportunity for the guys that are there. We go to the events and we try to be there so that we have those opportunities to have conversations. But so many times during the events, there's so many other things going on, particularly if you're competing or whatever the case may be, that you really don't have a chance to kind of sit down and talk through or see what you need to do, and it's hard to bring a little bit of everything. So yes, the show was a very busy time, but it's a much more welcoming environment that we can sit and kind of have a conversation about.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, you're not trying to do it in between cars running down the road. You can hear, it's not, there's all these other things are taken out of it. There's a lot to do there, but PRI is an excellent show for being able to kind of sit and work through and get that good one-on-one time with racers and builders and just enthusiasts of whatever nature that they come through. So yeah, we absolutely anybody that's listening to this is we encourage you to come by and see what we do and talk about what you're building and see what the fit would be.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you have a racer or celebrity that you are excited to see at PRI?
We usually, it's amazing we're a week out, but you'd be amazed at how those schedules continue to evolve and change right up almost until the minute that they walk into the booth. But we usually have a pretty good selection from like Team Force, Team Coletta, drivers that will come through. I haven't seen the final rundown yet for this year. Fortunately, I don't get tasked with doing that wrangling. I just get to show up and
that's awesome
there. But year after year, we've had Force and his team come to the booth, and it's another case where they obviously have a lot of commitments at the show as well, and there's no sport like drag racing, professional drag racing, where you can get that up close and personal with drivers. But yet, even at the races, they still have a lot going on that you're not going to be able to kind of spend that 30, 45 seconds with you. But as they come through, their purpose for being in that booth is to give back, talk, meet, greet with people. So it's kind of a unique opportunity in that way as well, that it's a good chance to get up close and personal. If there's drivers that you want to meet, talk to, say hello to, and compared to, there's a lot of people that are at the show, but you're not competing with the 10, 15, 20,000 people that you would see at a race either. So it's a lot of people, but it's still a very intimate setting for something like that. And there's a good variety, I think, of drivers and such that will be coming through.
Yeah. Right. I was gonna say there's a lot of hallways with a lot of people, but once you step into a booth, it really that's your area. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it definitely kind of segregates you from the masses.
Well, I want to talk about, obviously you guys are a big part of our program here. I want to say thanks again, obviously, for that. You guys are awesome. And the trophy we're doing, or award we're doing for the Molly Motorsports, is probably the hardest thing that we could have ever thought to pick is the toughest roadside repair. 47 submissions, 47 nominations, not 47 different people. A lot of people chose, they would put in 2 or 3 different names, whatever. We're kind of down, and I'm going to send this to you with the write-ups, and we're going to kind of maybe talk about this over the next day or so and try and get an idea of who we're going to award this to. But big shout outs to Holly and Alex Rops. Those folks, they tore down 2 engines trying to repair stuff, worked at least 24 hours straight to try and repair it in the Texas Motorplex parking lot, trying to get that truck or their car ready, whichever one they could do. They were one. Yeah. That was wild. That was on Rocky Mountain on 1.0. Bryant Goldstone and Brian Robbins, another big, hard-working duo there. A lot of people were submitting for the drag week deal, where they basically tore down the head off the Javelin. Brian drives an hour, welds up the holes, redecks it, fixes the port, the chamber, all that kind of stuff. 30 hours awake at drag week. Bob Gruber was another person that was nominated for disassembly of his engine. Hang on, I wonder if I put these pictures in here. I don't think nope. Dang it, I didn't. I should have. I'm sorry, guys. But Bob Gruber, disassembly in the parking lot at Motion Raceworks, ended up borrowing a head from another racer to race on. Goes out, wins his class, 880s. Crazy. 42 hours awake is what he said. And that was at Six Summer. And then Jeff Lutz works himself out of parts, completely has no more parts at Sick Week. So a lot of great nominations. Those are kind of our top 4 as of right now. Just trying to figure out, who we're going to award this thing to. Because, man, you start thinking about the year and like how many people had to tear stuff apart, how many people had things on the side of the road where they were fixing. And, these are obviously big things. It's the toughest roadside repair, but there's even easy stuff that's on the side of the road that people have to do. So it's crazy.
No, that's a good, there's, like I said, I'm sure there's a ton, but that's a pretty good field that you've got it narrowed down to. But I do not envy you at all for having to narrow that down to 1.
Yeah, we're going to be, we may do 2 or 3 next year for that one, the top 2 or 3 stories for that award. Cause man, that's so tough. Cause everybody has a hard time on that. Yeah. So, well, cool. Well, Eric, I want to say thanks again. You guys are awesome. Huge supporters of us from the very beginning. We've always appreciated that. And, Molly's just a cool company, man. There's a lot of really neat things. Jesse Fox and I were out there. I guess it was Drag Week 23, and you gave us a tour around the facility, and a lot of really, really neat stuff within there that you guys can do. That I'm sure everybody looks in a catalog and says, "Oh, well, here's some pistons or rings or whatever." But there's a lot of really cool things that you guys can take and make work. So it's pretty awesome.
No, we're certainly glad to have you guys through, and it's our pleasure. Like I said, there's lots of reasons that we do what we do. Yes, there's an element of trying to spawn business, but we enjoy it as much as anything. And if you can combine the 2 of them together, there's no better situation than that. So appreciate all you guys do.
Awesome. Well, sir, we're gonna let you go. Thank you for staying late at work. I know it's 9:30 out there in North Carolina, and so if anybody's in North Carolina, please. They probably need to call before they stop by, but go by, see the team there. They've got some super cool display engines in the front room. They've got a crank and a rod and piston that's as big as the desk I'm sitting here in front of. It's pretty great setup, and then get you a tour and all that kind of stuff. So
we will see you in 1 week.
1 week.
It'll be here before we know it.
I'm telling you. All right, Eric. Thanks so much, buddy. We'll see you soon.
Yep.
I'll see you guys.
Bye. How cool, man. I'm telling you, I like that guy. He's smart and drives a super cool car and is a drag and drive racer that, again, that's what we're looking for all the time is sponsors that are part of this community or can provide details within stuff. That's one of the hardest things is finding folks that can come on and explain why you need this, why and Eric's been on before talking about the differences in all the alloys and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, we got to get rolling. We got Luke B up next. We got a couple ads to read, and then we'll bring Luke B of Howard's Cams on.
Yeah, I had one thought real quick. and I want to
Yep.
run this past you. We've got our stickers, obviously, we've been talking about.
Mhm.
What if we took just a few of them and hid them inside of products at the booths of our sponsors for
Yes.
people to come find?
Yes, I think that would be awesome. Let's do that. Let's do that. We'll sneak around Wednesday evening before the show closes, and we'll hide some stickers, and then we'll go back Thursday after it closes on our way out and see if they're still there, and if they are, we'll move. We'll replace them.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love that idea. Okay, cool. Well, you want to do the J Wire while I make that note?
Yep. All right. J-Wire Solutions, expert car and marine wiring solutions you can trust. J-Wire Solutions can wire and plumb your hot rod, race car, or drag and drive car. Plus, they offer products to make your driving experience better, just like the blinker module that is a must for all drag and drive cars. The module will allow your rear turn signals to continue to function while the brake pedal is applied, just like stock. So, again, check out all of their products at J-Wire Solutions on either Facebook, Instagram, or head over to their website.
Yep. And then WAF Racing, who's going to be in our booth with some products this weekend or next weekend. Sorry. WAF Racing is a collective of engineers, racers, and hot rod enthusiasts who have come together in one place to create custom parts, tools, and electrical gadgets. With passions for racing, hot rodding, cars, and bikes, both classic and new, you just never know what this group may be working on. Check them out at waf-racing.com and on all their social media stuff. I'm excited about Chris Wozniak being in the booth with us. One, because we're going to get some kind of hands-on stuff with his carburetor tools. We're going to get to see the spark plug holders, things like that. And I may have Jay at J-Wire bring a few pieces as well. We can do a quick little display for him as well to talk about some of the parts and products that he has. And, it makes me think there's this big area on the back that usually has our banner, and it will this year, but maybe for 2025 PRI, we actually set up an area for some of our smaller sponsors to display some stuff.
Yeah.
May not be a bad idea. So we'll look through some of that. But again, thank you to all those guys. And let's bring Luke on here momentarily. We're going to play a video, the intro, and then we'll bring him on and talk about some of the stuff we've been talking about all night.
Yep. Let's do it.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Harris from the Monoxide Podcast. Real quick, Howard's Cams was founded as a racing cam manufacturer almost 80 years ago when Howard Johansson created Howard's Power and Racing Equipment in 1945. Howard's Cams has always used on-track experience to design the most powerful designs, and today they have an even greater group of experienced racers in circle track, drag racing, road race, mud bog, and marine. They use all this input plus the most advanced computer software to design the most competitive race-winning products. From pioneers in drag racing and oval track to cutting-edge marine development, Howard's Cams is at the forefront of the industry. So make sure to reach out to our friend Luke B for your next valve train upgrade.
A big shout out to Harris. He's going to be at PRI doing some podcasts there. Dude just crossed 35,000 subscribers. I love it for him. So
I saw that.
congratulations to Harris. It's great dude. All righty. Mr. Howard's Cams, Luke B, our boy. Man, let's talk. I'm excited to have you on. You've been on a couple of times and it's always fun. So let's have a blast tonight to round out the show. Next 25 minutes. Dude, tell us what's going on, man. Tell us who you are, what you do. What's this red Ranger that's out in the driveway?
Broken. It's broken again. But anyways, I'm Luke B with Howard's Cams. I'm our sales manager. I do a lot of our media stuff, and I would say our outreach as far as like sponsored drivers, team drivers go. So if you've talked to anybody on the Howard's Cams Facebook or Instagram pages, you were talking to me. So yeah, I am kind of anywhere and everywhere inside Howard's, as well as at one of their tech groovers.
That's awesome,
But
dude. And
yeah,
that's really
as
how
far
this
as what's going
conversation
on,
started was.
really PRI is next week already.
No,
What was that?
I was saying it doesn't make any sense that PRI is next week.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I'm not ready. I don't think anybody really is, but yeah, it's gonna be great to see everybody. That's for sure.
Well, let's talk about 2024 events that you attended and then the events you want to attend.
Well, as I think a few people know, we had a new little one come along this year in the household. So I didn't really get out to as many events as I wanted to. I don't think I made it to a Dragon Drive event at all this year. But we did have the Outlaw Stick Shootout at Great Lakes Dragway in Wisconsin this year. And man, some heavy hitters showed up for that. One of our team drivers, Nick Coleman, Mr. H pattern record holder, was out there. I don't even know if he made it in the competition, but he he built his wife a truck. So now they have the black S10 with the purple wheels and a purple S10. And hers is just like 850K, just supposed to be just this mild deal. Well, yeah, pretty sure it's gone sevens by now, but for the Outlaw Stick Shootout, they they hurt Nick's truck or something happens to Nick's truck, but day one, they swapped the windshield out of the 6-second truck and put it in the 8-second truck because her hood popped open and she broke the windshield. And then later during competition, they pulled the engine out of Nick's truck and put it in her truck. So just this crazy fiasco of, you would always think you want to make sure the fastest vehicle is working out there, but he wanted to see his wife succeed, and it was pretty cool.
Man, that's crazy. I didn't know they had built a second truck. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. His truck will be right across the aisle from ours, from our booth. He'll be in the Red Horse booth this year, so go check out that booth when you're overseeing us.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know we're going to do that. We're going to definitely make our way down Wednesday. You going to be there Wednesday? We'll come down and hang out for a little bit, and then.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know what time Wednesday I'll be there yet, but you guys know how to get a hold of me.
Right. Yeah, we'll just text you.
Yep.
So real quick, booth number for Howard's Cams is 3221. It's at the
Yep.
Yellow Mall. That's right down kind of from us. You guys just have a great booth and great people. I didn't talk to anybody but you last year, but you guys had a ton of really cool parts.
Yeah. So last year, we've been pushing the belt drives pretty hard. Still, a lot of people don't know that we have those, but last year we put out the whole black lineup because when we first made them Howard's purple, there was a little bit of community pushback on it. So yeah, everybody's got nice black belt drives now. We got our Reaper crankshafts where we always have at least one of those out, and then of course we're offering our camshafts.
That's awesome. Yeah, and complete valve train stuff, like that's really how this whole thing came about, because we all had valve train questions, but no, we didn't have anybody ask. And luckily you follow Dragon Drive and you were like, I know stuff. Here we are.
Yeah. I mean, literally when I was interviewing for the job at Howard's, I'm like, I want to get us involved with Dragon Drive because there's not really a cam company besides Isky out there that's really like trying to put their foot into it. And I'm like, I think we can really gain a presence. And I met you two guys, and you introduced me to all the Dragon Drive people I don't know, and it's crazy how big of a family it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a blast. And dude, there's so many conversations that Luke and I have about stuff, and then I never buy any of that stuff. But I will one day, I promise.
Well, it goes, man. Yep.
Well, I got a cam and springs right underneath my desk here with the pile of parts that need to go onto the car. So
Yep.
it's just man, winters in Illinois are not fun.
Neither in Wisconsin. I don't know about you, but up about 40 miles north here, we're having 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts tonight, and it's 20 out. So
Yeah, that's pretty much the same weather as it is here right now. It's miserable.
yep.
While
Yeah,
Mike's down there with
all
60-degree weather in Arkansas.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was playing basketball with my daughter in shorts earlier, so suck it.
Yeah. No. It snowed today.
We haven't got snow yet, as far as I
Lucky.
know. We haven't had any yet. So
Yeah.
So I know you had a newborn, but do you have any cool car stories from the year? Did you get out and do anything this year?
Well, this was the first year the Ranger has run since my wife and I have been married. So We have 2 kids. That tells you how long my wife and I have been married. But yeah, I mean, pretty surreal getting that thing going. Putting a project car away under a cover for the winter. That's an odd feeling.
Yeah.
And putting it away like that, it ran and did burnouts and cool stuff this year. That's always a great.
Yeah, past people sideways in Mexico at undisclosed mile an hour. Yeah.
That's awesome. And
I'm glad to
small
see you
block
got that
Ford-
running.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was a long road.
Well, let's talk about PRI, dude, because it's coming up. Obviously, it's next week. What are you looking to do? What's going to go on in your world for PRI?
So PRI for me this year is actually going to be really busy. We sponsored a drift racer this year, Mr. Christian Catrone, and his beautiful C6 Corvette and LS3 that made way too much power. It really surprised us. But he has pretty much podiumed every event this year. So it's going to be great to basically touch base with him and put him in front of the rest of the crew here at Howard's and make sure we tell him thank you. And I'm sure he's going to be he just sent me an email today talking about how great his valve train was this year. So it's always cool to catch up with our sponsor drivers like that. And obviously Nick Coleman will be just across the aisle from us, like I said before. So just seeing all those guys. And we got some stuff that we might be doing with Mike Cotton in the future again. We helped out with the Pepto car, or I guess he's calling Cotton Candy now. But even
Great
despite all
name.
the drama that's going on in the Motor Trend world, we're still talking about doing stuff with him in the future. So a lot of cool conversations going to take place next week. I'm really excited for.
Well, and you talk about the drift world. That's another valve train reliability life that those guys have to. I mean, they're on the limiter or close to it. For a minute and a half at a time. That's pretty important stuff. So, and again, drag and drive guys, our stuff needs to live while we're driving along and making passes and all that stuff.
Yeah, next to drag and drive stuff, circle track and drifting is, you really got to be right on the valve train and that stuff.
Yeah. And again, we've had conversations with you about, hey, it's fine to not have a custom cam. Just, you're for the extra 0.7 horsepower, it's going to be better to get it now. Speaking of that, Sick Week is in 53 days. So we probably, guys, if they're looking for parts, they need to get on it and order some stuff.
Yeah. 53 days in today's day and age is not a whole lot of time.
No.
Yeah.
No. As busy as everybody is, and we have a huge holiday and PRI in the middle of that.
Yep.
People better get to it.
Yep.
Well, lastly, dude, I got to ask, who's your celebrity crush that you're going to meet, that you want to meet at PRI? Who's somebody you're going to be like?
I've already met him, but
Please come to my booth.
Cotton's my celebrity crush.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite folks to watch on TV for sure.
Oh my God, he's a good time. He's a great guy. Yeah.
I guarantee it. Well, for a guy like you, what is like after hours like, dude? I know Eric and I get invited to stuff all the time, but like you're like a legit celebrity guy. Like people know you, you do cool stuff. What is something like that for you? Like I know you don't just go back to the hotel and go to sleep. So where do you end up?
Oh well, I do for like 15 minutes. I gotta like a reset.
Yeah.
But
Right.
yeah, I mean, as of now, I get in on Wednesday night and I have solid plans until I leave on Friday. So it's like you go out to the show, you do show from what is it, 9 to 5 or 9 to 4,
Oh, yeah.
whatever the hours are. You regroup, have a drink, and then it's out to dinner. And then usually after that, you open your phone and there's 12 people like, hey man, we're at the blah blah blah. Or yeah, it's a circus, but it's a great circus.
Right.
Yes,
I
it
want to blame Steve Morris. Last year we were headed back to the hotel at what was like 11 o'clock, Eric?
It was something like that.
It was going to be
It was late.
respectable. And it was 3 a.m. when we got done. God,
Yep.
Yeah, we
Steve
were both
Morris.
texted, and all of a sudden I'm like, Mike went dark. I'm like, I shouldn't drink anymore tonight, anyways.
Yeah, dude,
Yep.
dangerous stuff. we'll have to get together at some point and grab a beer or something, or adult
Sure.
beverage to wind down. Man, what's coming up for Howard's in 2025?
2025, we don't have any like huge plans as far as like product releases or anything like that goes. It's going to be an interesting year for us in the oval track world, because for any guys that have done any like late model or B mod or anything like that, IMCA stuff, they recently changed the rules to now allow roller cams. So it has been a flat tappet only thing for forever. And they just released the other day that they're going to release hydraulic rollers, but they're putting a spring limitation on them, and the spring is garbage. So yeah, we're going to break a lot of hydraulic roller cams next year.
Oh wow, dude, that's kind of cool. So I've been trying to learn some of what's the difference in an A mod and a B mod because of my work with Tulsa Speedway, and those guys are next level, man. They're so smart. Like,
It is stupid the amount those guys put into like stock head casting, stock block, steel rotted engines. Like
Yeah.
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 Pretty
Oh,
much
you'll
like
let us do one more thing? Perfect. We're in. And then they just are gonna find, man, it's pretty wild. There's a guy there that, and I think he actually has a Howard sticker on the car, but he went out and just dominated. This last race I was at, it was a factory stock car, I think. And dude just went out. I mean, those guys are sideways, super cool. Love that and the drifting stuff. I'm not going to get in one of those cars because I don't need a new hobby. But just amazing, man. Like they're literally trying to get. They're looking for that 0.7 horsepower we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. We had a guy. It's called Race Saver 305, but it's a spec 305 engine, and we changed the cam just ever so slightly, and they were ecstatic about finding 2 or 3 horsepower in places.
Wow, man,
That's crazy.
That's pretty wild. And a cam being the lifeblood, like that's what kind of drives your power band and all that stuff. I mean, we've had those deep conversations on here before. I don't want to get into that right now. But the side of that, to be able to figure that out, but also move that meat around where that guy can use it, it's that's awesome.
Yep.
So are we ever going to see the Ranger on a drag and drive, or are you going to build a drag and drive car?
So originally the Ranger was going to be a drag and drive vehicle. It still might be. I mean, it's full interior, carpet, air conditioning, heat, radio, like it's got it all. But I've never taken that thing down a track. It's only made other types of passes, and there's a certain thing that leaves like the aura of the vehicle after it makes a pass down an actual strip. So I'm like kind of toggling that in my mind. I'm like, what do I want this truck to be? How exposed do I want this truck to be?
I can appreciate that. We had to pull some ETs down from the circuit site today because a gentleman was looking to do some racing like that and didn't want information out there.
Yeah. I mean, for anybody that knows the greater Milwaukee, Chicagoland area, that's kind of the only kind of racing that exists around here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, at a minimum,
you're not going to Route 66.
you could always do like a sick ward or something like that, or come down to the circuit and follow along and at least have a little fun with the truck.
Yeah. I plan to do one with it at least someday, whether it's like taking the turbos off and doing it in 8 or really throw people, or just rolling out and then getting on it. Just something to do the event with the truck is definitely in my future.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Well, Mr. Luke, dude, we'll see you in a week, man. I can't believe it. It's going to be.
It's going to feel like tomorrow. So yeah, see you tomorrow.
It will definitely feel like that for sure. All right, sir. Well, thanks again for coming on tonight. I know it's you're Central Standard Time.
Yeah, it's not that late.
You're not even you're hours from going to bed. I'm sure the new baby's gonna be up in a couple hours anyway. Or not new baby anymore, but 2 kids 5 times harder than 1 kid, guaranteed.
Not a lie.
All right. Well, guys, listen, if you're going to PRI booth 3221, go see Luke Bead, Howard's Cams. He's best looking guy in the booth. You got to go over there. Got to look him out. If you don't see him, please, dear sweet baby Jesus, at least tell him thank you for being part of the Drag and Drive community. We gotta have you do that. So, all right, dude, we're gonna let you go, man. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll see you.
See you
Yep,
next
see ya.
week.
Awesome, dude. I'm telling you, I had fun tonight. This was a good.
Yeah, I did too. I liked the format of this, and got my Howard's hoodie on and did a hat change in between, so I think I covered everybody. It's a good
Yep.
time.
Yep, that's exactly right. All right, well, dude, I think we let's wrap this thing up. Let's get one last night. We need to probably figure out what we're going to do for next Wednesday. Are we going to go live and do a full show? Are we going to probably not, but we'll definitely be at PRI
Yeah,
somewhere in that realm.
I think last year we had the idea that we were going to do a live in the hotel, and I think our best bet is to just go live from the show,
Mhm.
maybe go live a couple different times while we're setting up the booth, and maybe while we're walking around, give kind of a, I don't know, look of what's going on while people are setting up. I think that's kind of would be our best plan, is to do
Yeah.
something like that.
I think you're probably right. And Wednesday would be a great day to do that simply because there's going to be a lot fewer people there. There's a
Right.
lot of drag and drive cars that are going to be on display at PRI, so that'll be kind of cool. I know Ryan Hargett, his car is going to be unveiled there. I mean, everybody's kind of seen it just in pictures and stuff, but this car is going to be on site at the AFCO booth, so that's going to be kind of cool too. I'm going to crawl all over that car. Devin Vanderhoof's rebuild of the convertible is going to be at PRI in the Holly booth. That's going to be a fun one to just look at. I mean, I just want to get close to that car again. And then who else? There's somebody. Oh yeah, Mr. Bryant Goldstone in the Excess Power booth is unveiling his brand new car. So the dude wins 2 Drag and Drive World Championships back to back, does more
then-
events faster than anybody, and secretly builds a brand new car.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's go, dude. Let's go. 1 week, guys. Get ready. Thank you to everybody that's made comments tonight. Thank you to everybody that's been out there sharing this. Man, we got a lot of shares across the things. If you're watching this and you haven't done it yet, please hit the subscribe or follow button. And I'll send this out here, guys. Thank you so much for being our race car friends. You guys are awesome. Can't do it without you. Please, please, please. If you see us at PRI, we are not too busy to talk to you and take a picture and have fun. And I don't know, just please come up and talk to us. If we are not at the booth, please tell those folks that are going to be working it. We've got 4 or 5 different folks that are going to be there helping us do this, that are Drag and Drive veterans and know what's going on. My brother Steven, Nico Christoferi is going to be there. Richard,
Edward.
drawing last name blank there. Who else? Chris Wozniak of WAF Racing is going to be in the booth, and I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. Travis Wise is going to be there. Revved Up Laserworks, our trophy builder, is going to be there.
Fastest celebrity. You're forgetting that one?
Oh, fastest celebrity. Who else? What?
Firebird? Trans Am?
Well, no, sorry. Jason Hurley's not coming this year.
Mhm.
Yeah, his dad passed. Big shout out to him and his family. We're thinking of you, but I think about that all the time, dude. So good luck to them. He's not going to come there, obviously handling things with
That's
his
fair.
family and all that kind of stuff. So, so we're going to be jam packed in there, 10 by 10 booths and 9 people. So the Redwood Rally staff are going to be there as well throughout the weekend. So have plenty of folks to cover. But y'all, if you're not planning on coming by booth 4904, something's wrong with you. Booth 4904 right here. Come by. Please add it to your app and get it on your calendar. All right.
And
Thank you.
Thursday morning, don't forget
the
award show, 11 a.m., room 241.
Yeah, upstairs. So I think I'll have a full map laid out here probably tomorrow or Saturday or Friday for folks to find it easily, so they can go back to our page and look it up. So thank you for being our race car friends. You people right there that are watching here, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us. We really appreciate you guys, and thank you to our sponsors, man. We really can't do this. We can't can't provide this level of coverage without these folks. So thank you to Summit Racing, who was on the first half of the show. Thank you to Molly Motorsports. Eric Grillo was on earlier. Driven Racing Oil, who we've got to get on the show. Team Driven, come on, let's go. Let's talk Car Chains 3D. Corey Nicholson, love that dude. Has a ton of really cool products that he offers on Car Chains 3D. WIFE Racing, who's going to be in the booth with us. Performer Built Transmissions, who I would love to have come down and hang out at PRI. J-Wire Solutions, who's going to be there as well. He's going to be at PRI. I'm sure we can talk him into hanging out and telling some stories. Howard's Cams, Luke B was on earlier. And then Sweet Patina, man, best dang hand cleaning wipe that I don't, hands down. TKO hand cleaning wipe. Get it for yourself right now. Order it now. And tons of other cool stuff. I mean, they keep your car clean, all this stuff. PowerTube TV, huge booth at PRI, booth 7086. You guys can't miss that. And then Racing Junk, we're going to be in the Racing Junk booth on Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. live from the booth. I would love to talk to at least 2 Drag and Drive racers. The Havlicks, their booth is right around the corner from Racing Junk, so I'd love to maybe have one of them guys come over and talk for a minute. And then we'd love to find another Drag and Drive racer that can make those times work. So Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 in the Racing Junk booth, and just tell some stories, man. Let's have some fun and, bring some attention to Racing Junk Classifieds, who completely built a whole new segment for Drag and Drive cars
On the
with us
website.
asking. Yeah, like we were like, please do this. And they were like, okay, 30, 40 cars every week that are on there. So super awesome. All right, that's it. I'm hitting the end button now. Thank y'all very much. We'll see you soon.
Yep. See you guys.
Like this show? Want more? Then head to WatchPTTV.com, the new 100% free PowerTube TV streaming network. Home of the best classic and new motorsports racing and build shows on the web.